Well, how was yours? Yeah.
Well, it was a little bit better than Donald Trump's. I can tell you that much.
Another attempt, man. Jeez.
260 days. 260 days.
It is what it is. What are you going to do? I mean, it's not like the media cares.
Yeah, they don't care. It's
I mean, it's a chance for them to show 24-hour news and say what a bad person Donald Trump is. That he caused this. According, if you watch the news, Donald Trump caused it, but through his rhetoric about what he said about the
Ukraine war.
Ukraine war, and also what he said about the refugees in Springfield that they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs. That was rhetoric that caused people to hate him and want to shoot him.
yeah. See, as everybody else, but if that was somebody else on the left, they'd say, "Well, you're blaming the victim," which is exactly what they're doing, or the intended victim. They're blaming the intended victim. I mean, the left.
Yeah, it's like he's a rape victim.
Exactly. I didn't mean to gulp there.
I mean, it's the same.
No.
Very similar, anyway. I mean, it's just the left. The left has no more. I mean, it's another thing. That's another thing we got to get to. The left and right what do they call that? The dialect or whatever they call it. That's ridiculous in this political sphere now. I really do. I don't think that even matters anymore. I think it's just who's actually decent and who actually isn't decent. I'll use the word decent instead of good.
Well, the thing that I don't understand is why modern politicians rate themselves about what they call the mainstream media. It's no longer the mainstream media. They think it's so important to be accepted by them. They're nobody anymore. I mean, a little show like this, not necessarily this one, but a show
Any show
that you watch on the internet
Mhm.
can get more viewers and more eyes on what they're saying and more people in agreement. Who watches CNN? I don't.
I don't watch any of it.
Who watches ABC, NBC? Nobody, unless they got football or basketball. Then I'm sure people watch it. But
The only time I watch any type of shows like that is when a football game's on or a basketball game's on.
But what I'm saying is, why do politicians want to run to ABC, NBC, MSNBC, CBS, and CNN and Fox to get their approval for anything when they've got such a minuscule viewership?
Yeah, I mean, it's diminished so much. I mean,
and pay all that money too on top of that?
oh yeah, I mean, millions, billions of dollars. But then again, I think what it is, if you look at particularly on the left, a lot of times there's like a real strong connection. Very, I would say, well, would use the term incestuous, because you got these political people, and then you got the people in the media. They're like married to each other.
But that's
or
my
cousins.
argument.
Yeah.
But they don't count.
But they are.
It's like going in. I'm gonna open a store downtown Flint. I'm gonna go put an ad in the Flint Journal, and I'm just gonna wait for people to knock down the door to get in because I put an ad in the Flint Journal.
It's like
It's the same thing about putting an ad on the local news.
No, you gotta stick with the
Nobody's
time.
gonna come to you for that. You gotta go to the internet or TikTok or Facebook to get your message out.
And I bet you that really ticks off the old mainstream.
They're not mainstream anything.
No.
They're just this dog that won't die, that keeps on coming back.
In 2021, do you remember when the Afghanistan thing happened, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there was a veteran company, a Navy veteran who started a company. Now, just in June, got approved to be able to sue Jay Tapper, and I think it's with CNN or something like that. I can't remember. I don't know where CNN. I think it's CNN. Now they're actually going to be able to get because CNN just laid off 100 employees. Now they get to see how much money they pay these guys. But you have Rachel Maddow, you've got all these different guys who are making millions of dollars.
They're suing them, and now they get discovery.
Right, they get discovery
for anything that you want in discovery.
And they're asking out for the financials because they don't want them to hide anything. But here's the best part about it: the people who just got laid off can find out how much they're paying Jake Tapper. Now, here's the funny thing about it: when you sit there and you listen to Jake Tapper, or let's talk about Dana Bash, let's talk about.
Don't talk about. Well, no, but they don't count.
Well, here's
who do they count to?
They don't count, but you kind of got to look at this route. These guys are the ones that are sitting there asking the questions and saying, "Isn't it bad for you to make this amount of money? Isn't it all this other stuff?" And and nobody knows how much these guys make. Now they're going to know how much these guys make, and when that comes out,
tell me what good's it going to do?
Well, I don't know.
Who's going to care?
A lot of the guys that got laid off, there are 100 people that got laid off. They got laid off because they keep
money back.
They're not going to get any money back, but this guy's going to win multi-millions. Could pull down the thing of CNN real quick.
My argument is there's nobody nobody watches those channels. They're already nobody. And like I said, people like Donald Trump, Nancy Pelosi, and all the rest of the politicians are the only people that hold them in such high standard and high regard. The rest of the country sees them for what they are.
See, here's the problem I don't understand about the mainstream media. Well, I
They
agree
aren't
with you. Okay,
don't
for
call
what
them
they
mainstream
all right,
media anymore.
the old stream media. How's that? The old.
What do you
wanna call them?
Artist formerly known as Prince.
Yeah.
That kind of
I
scenario.
know. I think
Yeah.
we're
What do you
wasting
call
our
them?
time talking about them right now.
I know, but what would you call them? Not mainstream
I would
media.
call them nothing. I would call them unimportant, not even worth talking about on our podcast. That's what I would call them.
Okay.
Give them time. Yeah, it's like space in our head for free, or space. Well, hey, let's face it, we're becoming stars. So no, I'm just joking. Delusions of grandeur, but yeah. But with things got to mention that. Why did they have such a sway over us for
right
years?
now we're giving them relevance. by
You're right.
talking about
You're
it.
right. But here's the thing. The funny part about it was what is stupid about those groups is that Donald Trump made every one of those guys money
That's what I just
Yeah,
said.
yeah.
because they followed him around. And once they followed him around, they had stories. And they don't have stories because they don't follow him around. You know,
That would serve us right. We'll put ourselves out of business despite Donald Trump.
That's-
Yeah, exactly it. You know,
so they rode his coattail, and then it's like, so right now, why don't you ride someone's coattail besides somebody who, when they ask a question, one of a reporter did ask, how do you work with the middle class? How would you get the middle class back again? Do you know what Kamala Harris comes about and talks about?
Her lawn.
Her yard when
Her
she was growing
yard,
up. Did you hear about that?
yeah, somebody mentioned, I think Mr. Moss did in his broadcast, and he mentioned something about her, revelations of her childhood or stories about her childhood, and I was like, how is that relevant?
No,
to this
it was,
question.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was like she was talking to a therapist.
She was talking probably something.
No, I mean that's the way I've seen it.
I was thought maybe she was taking the way he made it sound
Like you say, when I grew up, I had all these different things. We had everybody worked hard and they all took care of their yards. And that's how we're going to make America great again. How are you going to make us rich with cutting our grasses?
She couldn't have been middle class, like she said, because she said that her mother, a single parent, was able to buy a house for her and her siblings.
in California.
Canada. And she grew up in Canada in one of the
I don't know until what age, but still, how could a middle class single mother be able to afford a house on her own?
Well,
Even back then,
That would be awfully difficult anyway.
you'd have to be making an awfully good amount of money to be a single parent and be able to buy a house.
back in those days.
Even in those days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, especially in Canada's always been higher for prices and
Right.
stuff.
Nobody
Yeah.
questions her on anything.
There's no pushback.
No.
But another thing is too is like when she's doing that meandering stuff, she's like taking a page from her former boss's playbook, like being like
Yeah, but
Not all there,
but the
but-
thing is, she's doing it on purpose. She was doing it because there's nothing up there.
But either way, it's not encouraging for somebody who wants to be the president. It sounds like she's just like the person who's has suffer some form of dementia currently. I mean, that's what she sounds like.
And it's sad. Like I said before, in other.
Why did she even run for? What I don't understand is, okay, this I still don't
Okay,
understand.
would you rather lose or win? I mean, do you think
Would you rather get your-
maybe they sacrificed her knowing that they didn't have anybody that's going to waste their political wad on running in I don't know how many weeks. Was it 10 weeks? 11 weeks? I mean, if you're going to run for president, would you step in and take a chance and you didn't even have a chance to go and meet people and talk to them
No.
and lose?
No.
And then think about, man, I should have waited. Or would you wait 4 years after the dust clears to run?
I think. So you think she was more sacrificial? Huh?
I think they looked at the polling and they said, well, she's not going to win, so let's just let her go. And
I just don't understand who in this guy who shot or not didn't shoot Trump. I'm sorry, I don't want to say it wrong, but the guy who laid in wait to get Trump with this gun, right? Who walks into the courtroom today like just laughing and just not a big problem, like he's walking in anything else. They said that one of those reports come out and his son said, well, he hated Trump like any decent American would. I'm trying to understand. I really am. When was the last decent American that I know that took?
I don't know. It's like me and my sister were talking. if Trump wins, a lot of people are going to be happy,
And a lot of people will be sad.
including us.
Right.
But if Trump loses, oh well, we'll be sad that day, but life goes on. I don't worship a politician like that. That I'm not that hateful that if he doesn't win, I'm not going to hate who wins. I'm not going to be happy about it.
But most people I hear on the left-hand side, it's like, if you have these viewpoints, I can't be friends with you. What the hell?
Well,
okay, but if that were true, it'd be in normal life. How many times do you run into somebody like that during the day, John? When your friends and family, have you lost any friends because of Trump?
Not Trump, no.
No, I'm talking about people you actually talk to, not dum-dums online.
No, I mean, no. Well, I don't actually. I'm going to be honest. I've actually people I know are vehemently anti-Trump, and they want this other thing. No, I kind of.
They're still your friends, though, right?
They're still friends, but I mean, I just want to avoid the subject with them because it's going to go nowhere.
Right.
Yeah.
But you can still maintain a decent friendship.
So far, yeah. So far.
Like if we had a prominent lawyer in the city of Flint that we could call a good friend, that was a liberal and that loved Obama. Mm-hmm. But he was still our friend, and he still called us, and we called him when we had things going on, or he knew things that were going on, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he was a unique individual because he was a genuinely committed. He actually lived the morality behind it. He was committed to helping the poor and the disenfranchised.
Right. But still, he loved Obama.
And he loved Obama. And he also loved his town, and he did anything to help this town. So there was no fault I could find. I mean, I didn't agree with him.
But we didn't agree with him on any level politically.
No, not at all. I mean,
you can be friends with somebody and never agree with them
but
politically.
What I'm saying is that's another thing that these hacks project on everyone, that there's that much hate. There's not that much hate.
No.
Because think about it. Even now, I bet you've got people that come through the studio, through all points that you don't agree with, but they're still on, and you maintain a good relationship with them.
Right, because it's another thing is too. There's a lot of times that I anger people because they expect you to have. If you have this one view, you're going to automatically be in agreement with this other viewpoint because they see it all so connected together like a solid mass, together. Right. And if you have you cherry pick stuff and you look at stuff and you have a different opinion about things, you're going to anger everybody.
Right.
At some point, because you're not on lockstep with them.
Yeah. I anger at everybody. Oh, it's not even political.
I got hate mail from people I've never met before.
I mean, if I had my political values on my sleeve on top of that, I'd have no friends.
It's like they'd stay away. Like you'd have to go into the store calling unclean, like lepers.
Come by me and I'm going to piss you off.
But getting back to Trump, it's just not fair what those people are trying to do to him, making him the bad guy for what happened to him. That's not fair at all. I've seen news soundbite after news soundbite saying that what they're trying to do is frame it as it's his fault.
Yeah.
They're not even talking about. They're not talking about the problem.
How horrible this guy was.
How it happened. They're not upset that somebody got Trump's personal schedule or one of the people that he was playing golf with. I forget the billionaire he's playing golf with. But only according to Sean Hannity, only a few people even knew that was going to happen because it was just like a last minute game that came up that he decided he was going to play because he flew in special for this. I don't know. Again, how did this person find out this information that should have been secret?
That's a serious leak. I mean, to me, that would just indicate there's a serious leak.
How come they're not coming at? They should be upset and coming at that angle. That our security is not like we think it is around the president.
Well,
or the former president.
This guy was interviewed by the FBI 2 years ago. 2 or 3 years ago.
Well, did you see all this stuff? I mean, because I knew we were going to talk about this. I looked. The guy's been on the radar for
years.
Since like 2016. He's been doing crazy. They're not just strange things.
I think 2007 wasn't back to that point.
It might have, but I mean recently, and then now somebody might want to talk to Elon Musk. How did they take down his Twitter page? His Twitter page was suspended.
When?
Either today or last night.
I wonder if that was like the Secret Service or some other group that maybe they were going to use the excuse.
Well, so we should find out from Elon Musk. Why is it down and who did it?
Probably Musk did,
No, he probably, but somebody should question him.
or probably had somebody to take that down so
Well,
that they
Yeah,
could actually
but
research it without
What I'm
even
saying is,
anyone interfering.
did they make him take it down, or was it like an auto thing? Because a lot of people were going to his page and saying that it was hate speech or something, and until the bots took it down.
I don't know.
No, that's my question,
Right.
not to you.
That is a question that's got to be asked. I mean, it should be during the initial stage of an investigation, and they like to use that word investigation, like LEO.
And,
Well,
and again, how do you lay there? How do you lay there for 12 hours if the Secret Service is so great? I mean, how come they didn't go through every bush and whatever real quick go around?
Because they don't have enough Secret Service for Trump.
Enough, or they just didn't do it.
They
It
just
seems like they're
didn't
learning by mistake now.
how many mistakes is this guy going to live through?
Well, they know the next time they go to a golf course that they're going to go through the bushes now, right?
Well, yeah, that might be the thing.
Okay, you were in the military. You were in the well. You were. I don't know how much trained for like law, land, kind of stuff. You're deal
Yeah.
with land. You were in
We were in the
Navy.
ship.
Yeah, you're in a ship. But I would just think that you do reconnaissance, or you
Right,
do have
you do.
people
I
be the
mean, you
bushes.
do.
and
Everything
all
you
that.
do, you
If you're gonna
recon.
go, well, who knows how long they knew that they were going to play golf? Does the Secret Service let the president say, alternate the course? I'm going to go here today, or you know what I mean? Do they allow him to do it like that, or does that's my question?
Yeah.
It's not
No.
necessarily to you guys.
No, well, there's a good part about that because they said that when Trump played this when he was president, and they had his detail there, right? What they would do is they shut down the whole golf course.
Yeah.
They didn't do that. They didn't have the guys up
But
in
it
different
wasn't
places.
in his
Only
own,
they had
wasn't it Mar-a-Lago?
no. It was 4 miles away from his residency. It's one of his golf courses.
So he could have closed it down. If
He could have closed himself down, but like Trump. But why does Trump have to be his own protector?
Oh, I'll tell you what. After
Does
being
he need to
shot
get his
in the
own?
air at
But does he need to
Storms.
have his own
Well, how many
bodyguards?
times does it have to be that somebody tries to assassinate you before you take
Well, I think-
interest in your own protection?
I think now he's gonna have to have his own.
When you have a brief back,
But it's always funny. Is it's like, well, the FBI did this and it got screwed up, or the FBI did this and this didn't go through.
when you hire somebody that you could trust to be,
Do you trust the FBI?
no, that's why I would have my own person that I trust to oversee them.
Because I don't think I'm sorry. Whatever investigation you do, you're never going to get the truth when it comes to the FBI or when it comes to. I mean, thank God the Secret Service guy did see something sticking out of a. I think, coming out of the fence, right? Just by luck, he saw that because 500
He was
yards.
doing his job.
Like he's doing his job, but he saw it. I mean, by both sides. But here's the thing: 500 yards with a scope.
Oh, he had an AK. So come on,
It's a sniper rifle.
an AK.
Isn't it? What is the AK one?
I didn't see what it looked like, so I don't know which version of the AK it was.
Yeah, there's some sniper. There's a defense in you.
They're
There's
not calling it a sniper rifle; they're calling it an AK.
Well, yeah, but would you expect the press to call it anything that's not?
Well, like I said, I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
I haven't seen it
don't know
either.
What it is. I don't know if it even had a scope or
No, it did have a scope. It had a scope. He had a scope on it,
But either way, it sounds like this guy's a patsy.
and then he also had, quote unquote, he had two.
he had a
duffel bags.
GoPro and a
GoPro.
backpack. But what I'm saying is, do you think maybe he was a patsy and he was set up and they didn't care if he was caught or not? Either way, it's going to maybe try to make Trump not go and do campaign rallies anymore. You know what I mean?
I think every time Kamala Harris does a bad interview, Trump's going to get assassination.
Yeah,
attempt.
but the thing is, it puts him in the news. And how many sound bites did we hear
on the way
from my
over,
house to here?
about
I mean, after it was a lot.
It was a lot.
Where they're questioning Donald Trump, and he was giving them his opinion on everything.
right.
And
It
I
gives
think
him more
was-
news
That
time.
was NPR, was it? That we were listening to.
No,
I thought it was.
no,
Sounded like it.
no. I won't tell you what station that was because you would about have a heart attack if I do. Patriot, I listen to them a lot.
See, I don't know what that is. I never.
I just listened to
Patriots is all talk shows, just the commentators.
Oh, so that was like satellite radio or something.
Yeah, satellite. I don't listen local.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah,
Because
I don't. Like I said, the only thing I know about the news is what I read brief clips on and online, and I go to. Somebody sends me different sources. I look it up and I check it out, and Okay, but I know that it's just, you got to read all these. You got to do like the shotgun effects. You got to have basically, you got to just try to get out there as much as possible, look at it stuff, and then try to digest it and see which one just makes more sense.
Right.
Which is more plausible. I mean, otherwise, no, I don't trust. I mean,
But
I don't trust the
wouldn't
press.
this be what's the word I'm looking for?
Segue.
Segue to the Toys Party?
Oh yeah, okay, hold on here. I can show this to you.
Can you tell them about the Toys Party?
Okay, well, the Toys Party is like, should we say should reduce this? No, let's
Yeah, I mean, that's
tired
what
of
it
your
is.
shit. Okay, TOYS, tired of your shit, and we're talking about the mainstream political parties, and we're going to show you the tinted with the really beautifully designed banner here. Let's see.
Are we going to our banner now?
Yeah, he's gonna put up the Toys Party banner. But,
Yeah, but the Toys banner.
but it's liberty before regulations.
Yeah, see, and it's like, yeah, because we've heard people talk about the political process in the elections, and everybody, they basically begrudgingly vote for the major parties because that's all there is. That's all that they allow.
And what the Toys Party is for Democrats or Republicans, but you drop your political affiliation when you're talking at the meetings and it's more national issues than abortion.
Yeah.
Or
it's about stuff about freedom. It's
Right.
about your freedom
Right.
versus about anything else.
Right, and it's like scrolling underneath. This is also the URL, so if you want to type it in, there's already information up there you can look out. Now it's not fully fleshed out, but I mean you got a lot of information right on there. So go take a look at it. I looked at it. You did a great job, by the way, on that.
But we're not asking you not
awesome.
to vote for Democrats or Republicans. We're just asking you to take a look on both sides and pick the best person.
Okay, now here's a question. See, I look at everybody who is, they say, a Trump supporter right now gets vilified because you're looking out, you're just being selfish. You don't care about other people. Well, I like to know how you're supposed to make a choice for a political, decision. If it's not rooted to your self-interest, it's going to be rooted to your emotions, and emotions is not a good way to make your decisions.
No.
So I don't know, what are you supposed to do? I mean, are you supposed to temper your emotions with your own political, your own interests, your own economic interests, your own safety interest? I don't see why that's used to denigrate people when you're just looking at your own self-interest. Well, what the hell else are you supposed to be looking at? I mean, that's serious.
And that's what should be important. It should be what's important for you, your friends, and your family, and where in your little area that you live in. That's what you should be concerned about the most. And
most people, if you start voting for your emotions, and that's what they're trying for.
Uh-huh.
So you ask about what makes these guys relevant. You ask about the political affiliations. There's one simple reason. For all these years we've run things, we have run it on people's emotions. We have not run it on facts.
Right, because
nothing that's going on today is facts.
They always go to abortion,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
and then how bad the Republicans are on, and how much hate they have for immigrants.
Yeah,
Those
and
are
then
two big issues.
And then the Republicans always run on, the border
And guns.
they're going to take your guns away, and then one tells they're going to take away all your free stuff. One says they're going to take away your abortions, and one says, here's the thing I never understood about it. What I don't understand is why now, after 52 years, is it now important for Democrats to do something? Because honestly, before anyone says anything, in 2000, when Barack Obama came into office, he had the Senate, he had the House, and the White House. Why did they not make this the law of the land? No, I mean, honestly, I'd like to know, because
That's a cash cow. That's the way I look at the Republicans that way. They had strong Senate and House, and
They had Paul Ryan. They had everything.
and they didn't change it. And it was like
They screwed Trump over.
they kept on talking about abortion, all the conservatives. So then they had a House and Senate, had a majority House and Senate where they could have done something. They didn't. Okay, and then basically it's like, well, we'll pretend like we care about this, and the money we'll call these people up. Yeah, these people are, and they're pro-abortion. We're pro-life. You got to give us money. When they do that was the cash cow for them. And it just
That doesn't work on people anymore.
No.
Because I think the average person
turns off the ads when they walk
Well,
out the
not
room.
only that, but I think the average person agrees that the woman, if she could live with what she's doing,
It's fine.
fine with it. I mean, giving up on it.
Yeah, another thing is it was pushed through badly. It was the way they hit orchestrated. That was a case of judicial activism back when they made it illegal.
You have
Well, they made it legal, but then they also came out of the Supreme Court when they started pushing it. Biden pushed it. The Supreme Court just took over and looked and said it's not constitutional to be here.
Right.
And the only reason why.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna say just like they did with the Chevron law. Chevron, they kicked that out too because it doesn't stand. It had no standing.
Right.
Just like abortion.
And that pissed off every Democrat.
Right.
Abortion had no standing.
Right.
It was just opinions that Supreme Court justices said, okay, we're just going to do this.
You know, when I first discovered where how they pushed it through, it never dawned on all the abortion was pushed through. It was on an issue. It was an episode of Law and Order, and one of the characters was played by a real life conservative Republican named Fred Thompson.
I remember him.
He used to play Arthur Branch.
Right.
When he was talking to one of his underlings, because he was the prosecuting attorney, he had an assistant DA. He was the district attorney. She was the assistant. She goes, the reason why you don't like abortion is because you go to church. She goes, it has nothing to do with going to church. It's based upon bad law. It was like it was pushed through without any kind of it was judicial activism. And I mean, so I looked it up, and sure enough, that's what it was.
I think when it comes down to it, you and I both have more libertarian values that, just like the Toy Party is built on that. The individual, your liberty, life, or freedom are the most important things that you've got.
Right.
And they're always trying to take away your liberty through regulations.
But they use the word, they take it away with the word democracy.
And we're not
a democracy, we're a republic.
And how many people don't know that?
Well, the old army manual of the 1900s, actually, my friend sent this to me years ago, and it was from 1908, and it was talking about the difference between democracy and republic, which we are. We're supposed to be a democrat. It's a democratic form of governance, but it's a constitutional republic. And that means the rights of the individual are enshrined, because if it wasn't the rights of the individual
But through
enshrined,
law.
through law, enshrined and by law, then you would have decayed democracy can go into mob rule, and most likely it will.
Welcome to Minnesota in 2020.
Right. It's like, well, we got more enough people. So guess what? We're always constantly trying to bring back and forth populations.
Yeah, because the old saying about a group of wolves deciding what's for dinner with a sheep, one sheep.
I mean, it's just people that, and they're too.
I've never heard that.
Yes,
That's better than what I said.
That's cute.
It's
For dinner, you got one sheep sitting there. Yeah, you know what that is.
I'm down for there. I mean, another thing is too. I mean, why are we supposed to keep on Harris's plan to actually tax more? He brought that up in one of the last episodes we did. And
if you see the political ads, they're saying that Donald Trump is going to tax
I don't know.
Social Security on her ads.
Every stinking Democratic Party, stupid, dumb, whatever, has ever done an ad, they always say this, that the Republicans are going to destroy Social Security and they're going to raise taxes on that.
For people, Social Security's destroyed.
Yeah, it's already gone, man.
It's like they took so much freaking money from the Social Security. The same guys who are sitting in this one office called senators and congressmen, they've taken all the money from Social Security. Why don't we have the real advertisement?
They appropriate.
Appropriate. So it's nice. Well,
that's French for screwing.
Well, George Bush the first idiot that ran it, and I couldn't stand the Bushes.
I don't like.
You mean the Blue Bloods?
Yeah, the Blue Bloods. He as soon as he took it was a solvent. The financially the Social Security was in good standing, but he get billions of dollars to Israel and Russia out of that.
And then on top of that, if not enough people know about Enron, about how involved he was in Enron in screwing thousands.
With Cheney too.
It was Cheney. They were all of them. I bet you, but they were the prominent ones that were involved in Enron. If people just knew that, and it was more publicized.
But the thing is, it goes back to the media. Media, a lot of these guys that own the media are in bed with these people. It's like, okay, well, we'll cover this because we're reaping the rewards too. That's one way I could say why they didn't cover it, because if you're supposed to be journalists, have journalistic integrity, you're supposed to cover who's doing what to whom. That's when give the breakdown on it. But they didn't. They never did.
They never do.
No,
they really never do. I mean, someone could be out there being shot. They're going to turn around and look and go, well, look at the fires of 2020. This is a relatively peaceful thing.
Yeah.
And there's fires. I hate to see what a freaking fire trash
Oh,
is.
you remember? People have already forgotten. How many days do we have? What oxygen warnings, or I don't know what it was called exactly, air warnings that you shouldn't go out unless you have to. But it was dark during the day. Remember?
Right.
When Canada was on fire.
Yeah, the wildfires there. I mean,
And there was no. We don't even know what the outcome of that investigation.
you know what caused that? I mean, was somebody the person who caused that? People
Every time
responsible
we
for
turn
it?
around, when you get close to something, they do something else.
They shift their
over
focus.
here.
Yeah. And
Like, who knows what this?
Wait.
Like I said, I think this guy was a patsy. I think he was set up, and there's probably a reason, because we're probably going to find out next week that something else went on at the same time that we'd be talking about.
All right, so we're not conspiracy theorists. None of us are.
No,
but
you don't know enough.
But if you laid it down, right? Here's the guy comes from Hawaii. Who else do you know from Hawaii?
But he's from North Carolina.
He's from North Carolina. He goes over to Hawaii. Who else do you know from Hawaii?
yeah.
Barack Obama.
Yep. So hold that there, and then you've got that he's met with lawmakers a year ago that were warmonger lawmakers for Ukraine.
Right.
So you add those two together, and then he just comes over, and now he all of a sudden has this. Who else do you think also has Trump schedules when he goes to new places? All the other guys in the Secret Service and everybody.
All the whole alphabet soup guys, FBI, Secret Service.
But who else? Think about go up and higher a little bit.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Next.
All the Nancy Pelosi.
No, keep going to presidents.
Oh,
Biden.
Next one up.
Well,
Go ahead.
who's
Tell us.
Obama.
Obama's so you're saying Obama's like ahead of the president, or?
No, I'm just yeah, he's
Yeah, I
ahead of
think
the,
he is.
he's ahead of the president right now. But here's the thing: I'm not saying this is Obama saying don't say that. But if somebody were to lay this thing out as a conspiracy theorist, they would actually lay this out like that.
Well, another thing is if you just go back to
Because there's no facts,
but
there's no facts
when it comes down
to
to
play
it,
it way.
okay, the guy had all information. Somebody gave him all the intelligence, right? But do you think he was smart enough to? I mean, do you think he was? I think he was a patsy. I think he was set up, and this was just to get our minds off something else.
What's it?
That screwed up interview she did with Channel 8
on
where
Friday.
She talked about her lawn,
right?
Because that was in the news.
Oh God, she screwed up so many different times. This is why she doesn't do a press conference.
Yes.
So if she becomes elected for 4 years at least, you're not going to get a press conference.
Well, we should be used to that already.
That's okay.
Okay,
But you don't really need
she
that one
doesn't
anymore.
even do a good job even talking about. I mean, think about it. If you wanted to deflect about against your record, wouldn't you talk about the other person's record? I don't even think she's smart enough to be able to talk about his record in a negative way.
Oh, so let me ask you a question. Do you think there should be press conferences anymore from the White House?
Well, there should be.
I don't know.
No, honestly, because I kind of agree with Steve.
Press conference.
I kind of agree with Steve
what
more
they
because it's
do.
not.
I
It's
don't
not really.
watch that. Do you?
Once in a great while when
when
it's not on
it's
TV
on,
when I'm walking in a room or something. It's not like I sit there and watch it.
What's
But here's the deal: it's
Well,
with
you got to
stations.
remember she's the first lesbian. What is she? First lesbian African American spokesman for president.
That was a DEI checkbox all the way
But
down.
I'm
the
just
thing.
saying that was her great thing.
accomplishment.
That was her accomplishment when she became the speaker. Not speaker.
Just press secretary. Yeah.
Press secretary. I mean, look at the killers that Donald Trump had for press secretaries.
Kayleigh McEnany.
Yeah.
Who could Sarah Huckabee, who could actually stand
on
up.
it.
They both had it no matter what. They didn't have to be.
But if you
check
ask them
boxes
a
to go there.
question, they didn't make up stuff. They just told you what they knew.
Mm-hmm.
So it just
They got the media. The press pool got more information than they deserved with her. With this person in there, it's just a joke going back and forth with the Fox News.
Peter Ducey and her.
Peter Ducey and her. That's the big news every day. What is Peter Ducey what kind of joke is he gonna make with her? It's a joke. They're okay. They're making it a joke.
That's the thing. I think that Biden's
They're
done
not
nothing
even
else
upset
but
about it.
made.
They laugh about it, but they don't even talk about how bad it is.
Who do you think's made it a joke? I think I know who I would say did. Who
The
do you
press.
think? Who do you think?
Well, I think the press too, and I think also, I mean, let's face it, it's like when you meet up with the Democratic Party and the press, the established press, gets together, it's like a love fest. I mean, they're like they're all related, they're all connected to each other, familiar wise, and all that. That's like, yeah, and it's like
But the thing is,
It's like a family reunion.
Yeah,
when you
it
go
is.
to-
they think it's so funny not to report on anything or not to get a straight answer. I mean, okay, but when is the last time you read a newspaper?
last week.
Were you looking for your ad for your business
No, I was reading newspapers
was-
online. Online, I read
while
them.
you were?
But I wasn't
while you were
able.
in the bathroom.
No. Actually, I was at work going through things and reading
Oh,
because to research different things, I read articles from different places, but I don't like I like reading
but when
from.
they keep on saying news reporter from the New York Times, oh man,
But
I
see,
want to get that guy's news. New York Times. The New York Times said that. I tell you what, I'm going to change my mind on everything. I don't know about you because the New York Times said this.
my whole world changed just because they said it.
like well, I know some people go the opposite direction. They get like human events, and there's the other one, the Epoch Times or something like that, and which are good, but they're really costly. I mean, those are extra prints, and those are hard to. I think
But the thing about
they're expensive.
the news is pretty. We know. I mean, because we have friends with the Flint Journal. Did you know that thing's the Flint Journal was printed for Sunday's paper was printed on Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
So that's whatever in that paper. I mean, they save some updated
For Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
No, I mean for breaking news or whatever, they
Right.
have slots that they can slip in there real quick.
Right.
But it's old news,
Yeah.
old events.
I when you ask me what I read CEOexpress.com. And you know why I read it?
Choo choo.
No, I read it because you know what? It gives me all the different news clips of everything, but it doesn't tell me where it's coming from.
It's a piece of paper.
Yeah, I used to get the paper one, but I don't get the paper one no
Okay.
more. I just get it online.
So all I know is that I used to get The Economist, which is actually kind of a left-wing magazine, but it's supposed to be that dealt with economics, and it was worldwide, really expensive each year.
Right.
And that's what I say. The ones that are more legitimate, I would say legitimate news sources are very costly. They're on you, but again, the trade-off is that you're
Because they actually have reporters
Right.
on the ground in these places, and they have to pay them.
Right.
Not like they're not getting there. That's another thing. Do you know AP is just a bullcrap
Yeah.
organization?
It's been that way for a long time.
Of all these money grabbers, newspapers decided to make the AP, and we treat the AP like it's
God,
it's God when it's not.
well, look at
like it's
Snow.
gold
There's
standard.
nobody. They're just a group that made up
Yeah,
the AP.
yeah.
And it's a place where they can just put all their garbage and they all can.
And they all
Take
wear
what
bow
garbage
ties,
is-
and that's it.
Yeah.
Well, like Snopes, everybody thought you used to go for that for we can just debunk your stuff because we found this on Snopes and then found out it's basically just ran by a bunch of people who are censors. Basically,
Right.
that's all they are. They're not really any more good at verifying facts from the non-facts. They're just we don't like this. So
It was
it's
just
a
a
lie.
website that started with the internet.
Right.
Because I guess they used to think .orgs meant something back in the day. I don't know if it's going to work anymore.
Well, I was still using I was over at U of M still, and a lot of librarians and stuff like that would somebody would say something on campus, say, "Well, I'll check that out Snopes, and it says this or it says that." I'm like, I was even then I was saying, "What the hell?" Is
But what do they
Snopes?"
say?
You know?
Okay, when you're writing a news story, how many sources are you supposed to have?
Basically
least
three.
yeah,
So how many sources is Snopes?
Well, one people
So
can say
you
by
should
one.
have two more, right?
Right.
Right.
You shouldn't just say, I'm just going to go to this one place to get my information. You should verify it with two more, right?
Right.
Right.
I would say so. And another thing is, that's the thing is which one is legit. I mean, I mean, just because I don't like the left wing doesn't mean the right wing is not above, using
But you
that
can't
information
trust
either.
these big papers because they go to the AP News poll and they all pull the article from there and they all tweak it to their own.
They don't
Yeah.
like him.
It's the same article, but they all tweak it and give a different spin on it. And again, I didn't realize until I researched it that the AP's bullshit.
Well, did you ever see that? This is like CNN or whatever. There's supposed to be two reporters reporting in different coasts, East Coast, West Coast. And it came out that they're actually in the same damn parking lot. They actually had a car pass by a woman. She's staying by a park. It looked like an open spot in the parking lot. The car drives past her, and then the other person is supposed to be on the other coast. She's dressed up differently, but she's just basically, and they actually found out the position. She's just around, basically behind the other one, and the same car is in one shot is now turning and going past her. I mean, and that was
the fastest car they've ever created in America. Just did that.
Yeah, just did that. And it's like, I mean, and I was like, and they actually showed the clip of somebody actually caught the clip.
Well, it's just like, okay, that just brings up where you see these clips where the guy's wading through the water.
Oh yeah, I love those.
The guy's in a boat doing his new stuff.
And then somebody
walks by.
Man, it's so hard to win. Another guy walks by and grabs his paper and walks on. It's so funny.
It's just, they lied to us.
Well, it's like, they take the position, the picture, like a massive protest, and they show they're in the thick of it. And then you
get the picture behind you, and there's only like 10 people surrounding them.
They look like it's a massive group. I mean, it's just, they play us like that.
Or they go Kamala Harris campaign, or show about all this
recent one,
high school thing, and they forget to tell you it's a high school football game or baseball game that they were playing.
There was where was she? She was just somewhere, and she had a room that I guess would only fit like 200 people, and she couldn't even get 200 people. It was just friends and family, but they made it look like a big crowd. It was on Twitter showing the pictures of it from the other side.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see now Tim Walz is now going to the produce section at stores and asking who people are voting for?
The melons are right.
No. But his wife now is doing this.
I seen it.
What is that stupid thing where she's doing? Because she's a teacher and she just wants to turn the page, and so she's got the whole crowd.
Kamala Harris is turning the page. She's
right.
Moving forward. Moving forward. Is that what her motto is?
Looking forward.
Looking forward. Yeah, and that's forward. Yeah, she's forward.
Well, if you burnt down everything behind you might as well look forward. I mean,
there's nothing left. Charge remains, but
I just don't understand anybody, and they're like, "Oh, I can't vote for Donald Trump because he's not this."
Okay, but let me ask you: I'm not voting for Donald. I'm voting for what I know that worked.
Okay.
Not necessarily, and Donald Trump happened to be the person that was there when it worked. Because we had a better economy under him. There's no one that can say we didn't. But there are people that say, "Oh, Obama put everything."
Okay, stop. That's what I don't understand. You cannot. For Obama, for 6 years, he blamed everything on Bush. Now, I'm not going to tell you that Bush didn't screw up and that Obama didn't have the right to say that. But for how many years? But then when things turn around and better, now when things go good, then it's like, well, this is what Obama did. When Trump came in, he did one thing. He said, "Okay, we're going to cut this tax right here, and we're going to take your foot off the corporations' backs and necks and let them grow." And then he did say one thing that anybody in any type of honesty says is that if you tariff, okay, here's the tariffs that people are not understanding. If we sell to China a car that we make here, everything here made in account, and they sell a car there, right? Same exact cars, right? China will going to tell you up front, you can only bring a white car in. That's it. Now they'll have all their colors for all their cars. Right. Now let me ask you a question: what are you going to buy? And then this car is 5 times cheaper than this car. What car are you going to buy?
Some of their tariffs are 100%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they're not worth it. We don't even have. I don't think we have car market in China. I know we don't,
because of the 100% thing. And so Trump said, "Okay, if you're doing it, we can do it." And then everyone's like, "Well, that's wrong." Well, okay, I don't understand.
I don't think. No, that's right. We should. Why should they be able to flood our market?
Because somebody that's not in the toys, because you have the Republicans and Democrats already sitting there going, we have to be the suckers for everybody because we're the powerful leaders. Listen, to being a powerful leader doesn't mean anything if you actually have somebody who sits back and looks at you and says flat out, "Hey, you know what? This guy is strong enough that they can do what they want to do. They can handle what they want to do, and we trust them." You don't need people behind your back laughing at you because you're an idiot.
Getting back to my original question, if it was Joe Biden's leadership that brought this economy,
I'd vote for him.
You'd vote for him, right? Yeah. You don't give a crap if he's a Democrat or Republican.
I don't care if the man's looking like Mr. Magoo and
but these people think
can't dress himself.
Because they automatically call you a cultist because you're going to vote for Trump.
Because it's scary. If we scare you, it's an emotional thing. If I scare you, tell you that you're racist.
Yeah.
If I tell you you're cultist.
No, I mean, I don't care what people call me anymore because I'm old.
But you're old. But you got to think about these younger people. They're scared of being
I'll tell you
called out.
When I worked, nobody knew my political. They assumed my political views, but I never brought it to work.
Yeah, I never would tell
I would
mine.
never talk about.
Well, once in a great while, I
wouldn't
did it.
even wish people. I mean, if they wish me a Merry Christmas, I would wish them one back. But I didn't. I didn't wish them anything for the holidays or anything like that.
Right.
It was just another day.
Because you didn't want to like offend anyone, right?
I just didn't want the BS that went with it. If they would, yeah. I mean, come on. And this. Well, I don't think it's so much now, but back 4 years ago. If somebody, he said Merry Christmas to me, and I don't like the way he said it. Do you think that's not, come on, Mr. HR? Is that not an HR complaint?
It's an HR complaint that people jump up and down for. You got these HR people who run around and go, "Oh my God,
You
we
know
need to
what I
handle
was
this."
told when I worked at the VA
What?
by my supervisor?
You couldn't say anything.
She said, "You're old and white. You need to be careful because it's upside down the racial."
The minority.
No. I mean the number of blacks that work at the VA. She told me I had to be careful from the beginning.
Careful on what you said, or careful for your life.
Just because I had to be more careful, just because I was old and white.
Yeah, I think that's what it's basically. And that's another thing. It's a chilling. You can't blame people for not wanting to.
Well, that's
diversity.
another reason. Not because I was racist, just because of the whole atmosphere of the VA. It was the worst place I ever worked. The most
Political or not?
no, just the people, the employees that worked there were just disgusting. As far as they thought they were old the world, and the patients were a nuisance for the most part. I mean, I met some great nurses. Don't get me wrong. I met some good people there, but I met a lot of bad people there too.
And I've heard nothing but a lot of complaints for guys who actually. I have a friend who I knew him years ago before he went into the military, and he's having issues now. And like bill, they don't do the billing correctly. He gets charged for stuff, or he gets
No,
bills
they
for
don't
stuff.
have to, because there's nobody holding them. Once you got 1 year of probation, and once you pass that 1 year,
You don't have to worry about anything.
No, you're good. It's hard. It's very hard. I mean, what they'll do to somebody is just move them somewhere else and make them somebody else's problem for a while.
And just
But
keep
they
them.
won't. But they don't fire them.
They did that to university too. I mean, somebody was a total failure. What they're supposed to, they were brought in for. They just quietly put them in. They just quietly put them in another place.
It shouldn't be like that. It should be just a normal, just a regular background check, and it should be like. Well, in my opinion, a lot of vets get pissed off at me when I say this. If there's no need for a VA hospital in the area, just let the people go to civilians. I mean, what I'm saying is, if that VA hospital can meet the needs of the local community as well, if it's like the only hospital in an area,
Right.
then keep it. If not, close it down, and it'd be much cheaper.
See, now that's what I don't understand. That's a good point. Why can't we go to? We have to go through care. You have to go through community care. You're going to do. I got to jump all these hoops just to go see an outside doctor, right? And then you only can get, like, if you go to a chiropractor, you get 12 visits.
Right.
Okay, let me ask you this. Okay, I mean, I've had paperwork lost and had to start over on things.
Mm-hmm.
Or how many doctors I've had?
You know how long do you have to wait to go see a doctor?
4 different doctors in the last 6 years. I get somebody who's happy with, and then I get a letter. Oh, I'm Dr. So-and-so.
Yeah.
I'm taking over. It's like these guys come there to check the box, and then while they're waiting, because it's I don't know, I'm not gonna say it's an easy job to get. It must be a good place to go get your clinical hours in for whatever it needs to be, whatever kind of doctor, before you move on to the next.
I have to tell you, I was lucky though in mine. I got a doctor when they diagnosed me with diabetes, and I had that doctor I want to say for about 12 years.
Well,
that was the first time I ever got lucky like
when
that.
I first retired out of the military in 2003, it was just TRICARE.
Right.
It was before Humana and all these other bullshit things.
Right.
In 2008 that took over. I had a great doctor in Lapeer that I was using from 2003 all the way up to 2008. And then 2008, I couldn't go to him anymore, because private insurance took over. Humana was the first, was the one that I had to use. Took it over, and he was no longer in the system, and I couldn't use him anymore.
What do you think about like a Blue Cross and Blue Shield for all veterans?
Right, it's awesome for my sister.
I think it's what it is you struck up on it, and we brought it up to anytime you start an agency or something like that, you got to have duplication of services. You got to have facilities, new computers, all these other people, and this just sucks up so much of the money that's available. If you just tap into something that already exists, they get paid for it. Of course, it's going to be a increased workload, but so you'd have a minimal amount of people being hired in to cover it.
It's not going to be that many, because I'm only going with a doctor when I have to. I don't know about you. I'm not one of those people that go.
I can't stand going to doctors
when
I
have to go.
Right. But then sometimes it takes you to get to a specialist. It takes you 4 or 5 months to get into a specialist.
I mean, that's what's good. In a couple more years, I don't have to worry about that anymore. I'll be able to use local doctors again, because I'm not going to go to the VA anymore. I'll use
on the Social Security side.
Yeah.
The other thing is that what it is, and we don't have a healthcare problem in this country. It's who's going to pay for the healthcare. That's what it is. I mean, we have availability of services, people trained to provide those services, but who's footing the bill? And what it is now, the way the system's set up now, it just adds more to the cost of operation. The way they got things, and it constantly just keep on multiplying that way. You know, they just keep on taking up more and more money.
But could you imagine having a psych problem? And then having doctors change on you all the time?
That could be, that definitely would set somebody back, or even worse. I mean,
I've known that to happen.
No, I'm saying it does happen.
It does happen all the time.
Well,
and then they have to start all the way back at the beginning.
But also the other thing that happens is you get a doctor with a different philosophy on medications and treatment.
Yeah.
I mean, you get used to one doctor telling you how,
They change you up on your meds. They change everything up.
Yeah, they're gonna change you up on all of your meds. I don't take anything for psych, but I know people.
Right.
When I worked at the VA, I worked psych, and I've seen it.
And it's definitely, but as I would say, the healthcare, like it's going to be, I think it's got to be addressed first for the veterans, because it's already in the hands of the government. Ultimately, all of that is, and but I do think that the best thing to do is just
civilianize. Just let the civilians have it. It's just like the post office. They're still struggling with the post office, but who owns it right now? Amazon, UPS.
The civilians came over and took it over.
I mean, taking it over, but letting Uncle Sugar pay for most of the bill for everything, especially Amazon. Amazon got over big on us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they don't.
And right now, I mean, having a U.S. Postal Service person delivering mail. I mean, an Amazon freaking package on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I guess it kept them afloat. I guess that argument can be made. And my dad was a mail handler.
Was your dad in a mail at the main office?
When we were younger, how the world functioned on the mail.
Right.
There was no UPS and FedEx, I think, might have been around.
UPS actually,
but it was expensive as hell to
right.
use that, and the mail was. But now everything costs the same because Amazon made it like that. Amazon, UPS made everything cost the same. Yeah. It's just like going and getting gas. It doesn't matter if you go here or across the street. It's all costs the same.
Another thing is too, like at the post office, a lot of the employees try to tell them how to cut costs and how to stop redundancies and and all that, and they didn't listen to them. They kept do something across town for Flint. You drop it in the mailbox here. They'd have to send up to Saginaw to get canceled and then bring it back.
Yeah. It's the same thing where our mail had to go all the way down right now. I think it goes to Pontiac.
Right. It's ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Well, you want to keep people in jobs there. Well, if they're busy doing what they're doing, they're still going to have a job there. I mean, it didn't make any sense. My dad and his friends just got frustrated.
No, but I think, how many letters do you get? I mean, that actually.
Real letters.
None. I don't get anything in my
I get more emails than anything else. That's all I read.
But what I'm saying is, when I go to my mailbox, 99.9% gets ripped up and thrown in the trash because I don't look at circular. What for?
99% of all the stuff you get right now is all political crap.
So why even have mail? I mean, why if you're gonna have mail, you should have to go to the post office to go. I mean, I do anyways. If I have something that has to be certified, that's the only time when I mail a letter.
Yeah,
I'm not paying $75 per $75, 75 cents. It might as well be $75. I'm not going to pay that either to mail a letter. For what? What for? When, like you said, you can do it by email, and plus you can put emojis in there.
You
Emojis are
can
really
put
good.
pictures in there too.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, but just
real
make sure
pictures,
that-
that's what I got.
Make sure
Like
not pictures that
Make sure they're
that
not
you don't
Anthony
come in
Weiner ones.
trouble for.
My-
Yeah.
You don't
just
want to go to HR.
2 weeks before my dad died, he had me put together like a list of stuff that should be on a computer, and it got it spec'd out, make it easy for him to have everything. It was a Dell computer, and I showed him. We got established an email account for him. He was so excited about it. He asked my sister one time, "How much does it cost to send an email?" So I asked him. I said, "What do you know? This is going to replace metal regular mail. Does that bother you?" He goes, "No, it doesn't bother me at all."
But your dad was a mailman.
Yeah, he was a.
I mean, not.
When did he retire?
He retired in '91.
I'm not saying he was a mailman. I'm saying he was a mailman that delivered letters.
No, he actually was.
You have to state that now. Are
Yeah.
you a mailman or are you a female man?
No, I'm a mailman.
Okay.
Mailman.
But he was a mail handler, by the way.
I don't know. That doesn't sound too good either.
Well, that's actually the ones
What
that
kind of mails was he handling?
MAIL, But yeah, they're the ones that sorted it out, put it in the right trays so that people
Right.
can deliver it to the right addresses.
So he wasn't a carrier of mail.
You mail handler. That's exactly what it is. You handle the mail.
Yeah.
Yeah. MAIL. Okay. But,
He
Not the
delivered.
yeah.
well, let's not take it that way. But,
Oh my god. Okay, can we go to the next subject on that one? So the toys. Let's talk about that one. No,
Okay.
anyways,
They,
Open that up again.
I don't know.
you don't have to. Just it was
It's just
just
an
something.
idea.
Yeah, it was just an idea about it. It's like I think it's a good one, and we'd like to see if people react to it. I mean, at least tell us what they think of it. I mean, be polite. No, I don't care if you're polite or not. But
But again, I don't know. Since I've been out of the military, I had to learn that if I didn't vote for Democrats, I wasn't going to have any say in
Not in
the
Michigan.
local politics.
and the Republicans abandoned this a long time ago.
And
so-
anybody who does that is a dum-dum. That if you're just gonna, I vote Republican, then you don't vote for anybody in the city of Flint.
No.
No, but there are good Democrats.
There
Like
is.
we talked about in the city of Flint, there's good Democrats.
There are good Democrats and there are good Republicans in this country.
I
Just
don't know any good Republicans in
In this
this
area,
area.
no.
not many.
No, I mean in the area that we live in.
No, in the area we live in, I haven't met any.
Maybe the west side of the state, but not here. No, because they're
In the
not.
west side state, there are a
Yeah.
few.
I was like, I just think that.
But there's a lot of Democrats that don't know they have Republican values.
Oh yeah.
Wait a second, but honestly, go with that viewpoint. If you look at it back in the time, if you go over to Grand Rapids and you look at Grand Rapids and you look at Flint, right? Look at the two different ways. Look, and I can tell you how it is. If you look at the
Well, there was no vision past GM here, and there's still no vision
No.
for the city of Flint because, okay, right across from that Dollar Tree used to be, what's the name of was it Shoving in the Hole? What was it?
it was a V8.
AC.
AC, that was used to be
AC
AC. Yeah.
plant.
When they
It's
tore
just
that down.
It's just acres of
Yep.
open land, and they developed some shitty park on the other side of Flint that would have been perfect, almost central located. Well, not central, but centrally located to the area of Flint that they could have made a nice park out of that. But no.
They could have made this town a good college
But
town.
again, there's no vision.
That's another thing is too. It's like I remember when I was a kid, everybody would bring up like eventually they did bring up the possibility of GM folding. They said we can't change it because they basically give carte blanche approval to anything GM wanted, whatever they wanted.
Well,
they got.
I mean, they had a plant everywhere.
Right.
Yeah, but here's the thing: if they would have worked with General Motors, you could have kept General Motors.
Yeah, they could have kept on. Well, they could have kept
Just
on.
remember we had-
Not kissing General Motors' asses, but working with General
we had
Motors.
Fisher Body, we had Chevy in the Hole, we had AC. What else do we?
We had, well, so they're still there, like Metal Fab. You also had Truck and Bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it had so many plants going at the same day. I mean, back in the heyday.
And all those jobs are now taken over to
Asia,
Asia.
Mexico.
Yeah.
But, well, right.
And that's why Trump is saying, if you want to do this, you're going to have to pay a lot of tariffs. And all these guys are screaming about all these economists. They're getting paid by the
Oh, it's
lobbyists.
just like the keys guy. I'm sick of him too.
Who?
The guy who came up with the keys. And he keeps on saying Kamala Harris has the 13.
Oh, the guy that's got
the
13.
13 keys.
And I've never been wrong in my life. I think it was wrong in
He's been
2016.
wrong twice.
In the last 8 years, you've been wrong twice.
And he keeps on saying technically he wasn't wrong. He won't even admit
You
to
technically,
it's just they keep on pulling him out. It's like pulling Colin Rove out all the time. They pull this jerk out every election. Well, he probably won't be around for the next one, just because of.
I think the pollsters get it bad this time, and they're gone. I swear to God, polls are laughing stock when people call them up and go, well, the polls say this and this and this. Remember, in 2016, Hillary Clinton was going to win by a landslide. Remember that? There was no way Donald Trump could beat the blue curtain. There was no way there was a blue wave coming, everything like that. When he won, it was like everyone's looking at the pollsters going, well, what the heck? How did you fail? Well, here's how you failed. You call up 15 Democrats out of 15 and say, do you like Hillary Clinton? Yup. Well, there you go. That's how you're going to do it.
Well, it's just like, I don't know how they do it now. They call 800 people, and that's supposed to represent 200,000.
Do you actually take any phone calls from anybody? I don't know anybody that does. So
not
tell
anymore.
me.
I had one call me a couple weeks ago, and they said, your opinion matters. I said, no, it doesn't. I said, no, it doesn't. Take my name off your list. I mean, I put myself out there. I mean, we do this kind of stuff, and people know my opinion there. But I mean, I don't think it matters, and I think they will skew the results anyway. If you're not giving the answers they want to hear, they'll just change it anyway.
I don't know how because I listened to one guy. He talks about how they weigh their the people that they talk to, and then he can make, I don't know, 2,000 people represent 200,000 people.
By weighing the different.
By weighting their response. Like, this guy's worth this much, they're worth that much, they're worth that much.
Right.
And they got political programs.
See, this is what I don't understand. You can tell the people who work hourly, if you figure this out, people who work overtime, people who do stuff like that, any of those guys with any logic, the message has to get to them in 50 days. And they've got long enough time to do that, to get the message to say this. Listen, Trump comes in, he wants to put, and all he has to do is say, this is what we're going to do in day one. But you have to give me this, this, and this to make this happen. But I promise you, I will do this. And sit down with the guy who's going to be the speaker and the guy that's going to be the new Senate Majority Leader. If Trump was that person, and say, these are the two guys I want.
Do you remember?
Not Mitch McConnell.
He did sit down with even the opposing parties, but they still, like Nancy Pelosi went and come to, you remember?
She wouldn't do anything.
She went and come to his office.
Well, then they got in that fight in the middle of the
thing.
thing.
Up that paper.
Which is a violation. She shouldn't have done that.
She can sit there and piss in the middle of the Congress floor and nothing's going to happen.
Well, she probably does.
She probably does right now, or it depends. But I'm just saying, and then you got all those old people. It's like going to a nurse. It's like, if you ever watch Congress, it's like watching a freaking nursing home.
I mean, I'm old, but they're really old.
They're ancient.
See, I think politics got a limited shelf life.
And plus, I think your first.
You think these guys have got 40 years?
And you should be out of there.
I mean, limited shelf life, because I mean, okay, you don't want a 20-year-old in there because they're over their heads.
Oh my God!
But like 28 to like 48 is probably optimal time. Other than that, no, I think they should be out. And it should be 35, 40 years.
Should raise the age now.
I think so.
For voting,
it's too young
for being in
president.
I think
because why we got old people
anymore. I mean, because 35-year-old could still live at home with mommy and daddy.
Wait a minute. That's not a bad setup, though. No. Wait a minute.
Well, they might be mommy and daddy to the White House.
But even John Fetterman turned into.
He's somewhat turned into a Republican.
Political monster.
He's actually doing really good.
Yeah,
better than I thought he was going to do.
I thought he was going to be a joke, but no, he's actually doing.
He actually talked about common sense.
He's in the middle. He's a moderate.
Yeah, that surprised me. Some of the stuff he said lately. I don't do this. I already thought just the fact that I probably hate you. You could be the boo-hiss guy.
No, he seems pretty.
He seems like he just seems like, you know what? Let me show up and do what I want to do and say what's really, really happening. What happens to my people down there? That's what Fetterman seems to be, that type of person.
I just seem to be okay to me now. I mean, I didn't.
But, and I can't believe I'm saying that.
Okay, but let me ask you, who is telling you that he's a bad guy? The news.
The news.
Yeah, so
that's where you shaped your opinion of the guy. And then plus you couldn't talk for.
Well, some of the things. Wait. It's not so much the news. I did watch his campaigns, and some of his campaigns were kind of
he's
stupid.
A direct reflection of today's society. That's how.
And he's also And he's also got guys that are sitting there from the Democratic Strategy Forum telling him this is how you need to say things because you're going to get your base by saying this. And he did that. But when he got in, he became a moderate, I think. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I don't know. I like him. I think he's pretty cool.
Like I said,
I mean, I hate that I'm not worshiping a politician, but I'm just saying.
No,
I couldn't believe you saying some of the things you were saying.
Probably got tired of the bullshit.
Disagreeing with this. If you notice, they're not showing him as much anymore now. Before he was like one of the rock stars.
Yeah.
That he's a non-conformist. He's wearing a hoodie and shorts and tennis shoes into the Congress.
Yeah. All I know is that
The sacred walls of Congress.
It's a pleasant surprise.
They used to, okay, wait, you know what? Congress used to have a sacred walls, but they don't anymore. They have just, you're right,
Hollowed walls.
the hollowed walls. But the problem is, guess what?
Guess what? What?
Wait, guess what? Here's the thing. Here's what I thought. These guys have to earn that honor, and they haven't earned the honor.
No.
And it's time that we actually sit down with people and
But
say,
the thing is, okay, we're using old guy standards. I think younger people
They don't have any
they
standards.
have a
though.
different view on these people than we do, and that's not what we're getting. We're not getting that.
we're not understanding the
No.
new view.
No.
Maybe that's a good idea. Maybe we could actually encourage people as who are younger, if they're ever listening to us,
At
just
least
weigh in.
well, I mean, yeah, we've had plenty of comments on being old and bald.
Yeah. So I mean,
But I mean,
And I'm the only one that's fully
John
bald.
Fetterman?
Too old?
No, I'm just asking people if they answer. What did they think of John Fetterman?
it's a different. Yeah, like I said, he's been doing stuff now that I can't disagree with. So I'm kind of like.
But I'm
Calm down.
curious to know of the two people that watch our show, what they think.
Of the one or two people to watch.
Yeah.
Well, I got 3 right now. So
Here's the one thing though. I actually think that you had Jim Jordan on the right, who was the
I
old
like him
wrestling
too.
coach. Was the old wrestling
Yeah,
coach.
I like him.
You got John Fetterman, who's the
If
hoodie
they
guy.
got in a room, they could work some stuff out.
They probably could. With common sense, those two guys. That's the only
They
two
probably
common
end up
sense
wrestling.
wrestling it out,
They
but
wouldn't
something.
do when they're wrestling.
But they'll get it figured out.
Yeah.
And they'll
I
probably
would
sit there.
trust them, what they came up with.
Yeah.
But then
By the time he comes back out of there,
they would take over and screw it up.
it's the party that's going to fuck it up. Sorry, screw it up. Sorry.
Didn't we talk about Christian discussing? And we got some comments about.
Did we?
that
What'd they say?
No, not even replacing the words with other words. It's the same thing.
Really?
So that's what
Person said absolutely not.
One person said it?
No, yeah, that's one more than didn't say it.
That's true.
But
But I always believe one thing.
then we got, I forget, a reverend from Scotland.
Yeah, Gary Sproat, and
I think you said you wanted to say hi to him today.
yeah, but Gary Sproat, he's a friend of mine. He's a Presbyterian minister in Glasgow, Scotland, and been talking like 8 or 9 years. I've been talking about through Yahoo Chat, and he's like a very outspoken Presbyterian minister there. He used to be with the Free Presbyterian Church of Scotland, but he's kind of ran afoul with them because he's actually more rigid than they would do. They want
to be.
Yeah, they want him to be. So he's looking for an assignment, somewhere. So if there's a Presbyterian church here in the United States that wants it, he's got this real thick Scottish accent. So
I love it.
So you really get a Scottish, the Presbyterians as a quintessential Scottish church. So contact. He's got Pastor Gary on Facebook, and tell me maybe have you send a resume or a sample of his preaching, because
It's online.
It's
He's got
online,
one of his
yeah.
older ones.
yeah, he's very good. He's a very solid, he's probably Westminster Confession. You're familiar with that.
Mhm.
So anyway, Gary, I'm trying to give you a plug there. So if you get to the job here, say thank us. No,
10% commission. Please go to the trail.
but anyway, I probably think we're at an hour and 8 minutes. So you think we should roll it up? Or,
Yeah. Word for tonight. I
Unless
know
you
we're
got
not going to be.
anything else?
Well, actually, I do from last night.
Yeah.
Yesterday, this weekend, I got to go to that expo
Mhm.
that are over. So we got some things coming from that expo.
Okay.
So I've got to send that over to you because you can get it out to some of the interviews we did. And then tomorrow, you and I guess are going out separately. We're going to
The rally.
the rally.
Yeah,
so
Yeah. So it's like.
are you going tomorrow morning?
No, I'm gonna actually go. It's about
He's got a VIP pass.
How'd you get a VIP
because
pass?
for a
We
long
know
time,
people
for
from doing
this
this.
stuff. There's a guy named Henry Hatter. He's a long
How
time.
many more passes can you get?
Well, I can tell you what. I'll send you the link and see if you can sign up for it. Okay.
I got a link,
Yeah, but
but
he might not be able
No,
to.
but
The
the same
paper,
one,
he
just-
said it had to be at 3 o'clock today.
Yes, I guess. So I tried to do it.
oh, sorry,
Yeah, I don't.
just using.
That's what that's what I was told, but it might be a shot. I don't know. But anyway,
I'm standing
You
in
were
with
told
a.
you had to have.
Yeah, but real
your
quick.
piece of- you
Yeah,
had to have it
right.
in by 3.
that's what I
I'm
was,
standing with the regular people, the regular ones, not the VIP. So I'll wave at you while you walk by me. And you're,
Yeah.
He's not on the
But
list.
if I don't
I'm not on the list.
He's on the Secret Service's.
Oh, no, I wouldn't say that. Don't go saying that stuff. No, don't be saying that stuff. No.
No, but he's on the VIP list, so he's gonna go walk right by us while we're.
Okay, he's on the list that's being verified
Right, by the
C-
CIA.
by the Secret Service,
Secret Service.
who works for Kamala Harris.
Oh, goodbye, sorry.
Yeah,
You'll be
we may
standing
not
out there.
see John after tomorrow.
I don't know.
I'm joking.
I hope so. No, but
John's
No,
been good.
yeah.
John's been a good guy.
But it's like, I mean, I don't like the government, but I still think we have that right to say that. But I mean, I don't know. We haven't read the PC rules, but anyway.
Well,
Oh, and then about your partner.
Who?
Didn't get enough airtime before we close it off.
which one?
I think the name was Julie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Hi, and we have to say hi to Julie because we did not, last time acknowledge her in this. And oh, by the way, guess what? We actually have to do a show with her because last year I did a podcast with someone and we talked about it. And I guess I talked about my daughter more than I talked about everybody else. So I need to have one where I actually present Julie in there. Our town's
The new
nice.
setup.
Yeah.
That you can call in.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be killed tonight when I get home. Except for one thing I gotta tell you is that 2 11-year-old girls got hit Saturday night in Fenton at the Apple Fest. So that was a sad news. But other than that, let's leave this on good news. But tomorrow we're going to be at the rally. You were the VIP.
Yeah.
Me with the regular people standing there all night long, and then
I'll be at home.
you'll be at home watching us. As
I know
see.
because I don't know how long you have to. I can't stand for long periods of time.
Yeah.
They're not going to let.
I'm in
bring,
it. I'll be on the ground.
Yeah, but you have to wait in line and stuff.
I'm-
Anyways,
And then Wednesday we're back at this, right?
Right, Wednesday, so hopefully. if
Wednesday
everything goes
night?
right, yeah, Wednesday night. So,
So and
All
we'll be
right.
back to our Thai and Coke, but we got to go back to iced tea. So
all right. Well, anyway,
and no Fanta.
yeah, no
You can shut